नमस्कार, मैं हूं लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल मनोज कुमार सिन्हा।
Hello and good morning to all of you lovely people here with us. We are back with another episode of Nothing But the Tea by the PR department. Joining us today is a very enigmatic and powerful personality who's also very influential at present for all of us in our country. We have Lieutenant Colonel Manoj Kumar Sinha with us today. We welcome you, sir. So, sir, with the first question, after serving the military for such a long amount of time, what brought you in the line of public motivational speaking?
To be very honest, it wasn't public motivational speaking because of which I came out of the army. In the army, I was fortunate to get that opportunity to deal with the enemies and give them the do justice to the way it should be given. And then, it is in the army who taught me what nation is, the values that it is. And then over a period of time, I had my part of doing what I could do in the army. And then I realized that there are things outside the army, and it's a perception battle which I felt need to be fought, which need to be countered. There things need to be expressed and spoken. It wasn't actually motivational speaking. I just wanted to make myself heard. I wanted to express myself in that point of view. It could be motivational speaking, it could be writing, it could be poetry today so far, it could be films tomorrow. But it's only about that I wanted to express myself in the interest and the welfare and the betterment and the future of the nation and your generation,
Right.
the future, and that's what it is. Motivational speaking is just one of them.
So, sir, coming from a 4G background, do you think there was an instance or incident through which you went and which motivated you to join the military service?
To be very honest, there's a bit of background, to it. My father was in the Air Force, and I come from a village in Bihar. And I wasn't very well, it's not a very good example to quote of mine, but I wasn't very well informed about what's happening in the country and things like that at that moment of time. So I was very happy about the way the country was, and I used to go around all across the country with my father, long train journeys, and I used to sit at the window and watch the countryside, khet ja rahe hain, gaon ja rahe hain, and it was beautiful, and I felt everything is fine, even though in my village there was no roads, no village, no electricity, but to me it was all very, very wonderful, very, very fine. I didn't find anything wrong in this country. It's only when I went into the army that I went, my first posting was on a line of control, and I went there, and and that's the time I saw that even that part of it, I was walking my first posting, I was walking towards that place, and with my men, and the men next to me tapped on my shoulders and told कि साहब रुक जाओ. मैं क्या हो गया? बोला साहब हमारा इलाका यहीं ख़त्म होता है. And my perception was the country is endless. चलते जाता था, ख़त्म ही नहीं होता था. I know geography के लेसन में था कि there's a boundary, but I had never seen that. So मैंने कहा ख़त्म हो गया, और सब वो सामने देखो पाकिस्तान का पोस्ट है, आगे एक कदम बढ़ाएंगे तो वो गोली मारेगा. मैंने कहा एक तो कंट्री का यहाँ पर ख़त्म हो रहा है, और उसके ऊपर दिस इज़ ऑल्सो नॉट गारंटीड. एंड देन आई रियलाइज इवन दिस इज़ अंडर क्वेश्चन एंड थ्रेट. एंड व्हेन आई टर्न बैक फ्रॉम दैट प्लेस, that point, and look towards my country, my perception about the country began to change. Then I began to understand. So I'm so grateful that destiny took me to the army to make me understand what nation is, what country is, what India is, what Bharat is all about. And it is from that that I understood what the nation is. But as far as joining the army is concerned, it was normal. As I told you, मेरे को देश में ऐसा कुछ लगता नहीं था, normal था, career बनाना है. I had not lived up to the expectations of my family in my first go, so ठीक है. I always wanted to, fulfill their dreams. Their dream was that I should become an officer, and it is just to fulfill those dreams I became an officer. That was the motivation. That's about all. देश बाद में समझ में आया, सेना में जाने के बाद, पहले नहीं समझ में आता था. Good that the generation today, I don't want that to happen with the generation today. I want you all to understand right now what nation is. देश क्या है, भारत क्या है.
As a part of earlier campaigns and a lot of inspirational advertisements, do you feel there is a particular stereotype that you would like to shatter or talk about?
You see, this stereotype हम बनाते हैं, and it is just that it's not about men and women. I'm particularly very much against, there is another part I want to, as I told you, I left the army to come and speak and express There's another part that I actually want to counter is this versus thing.
Right.
Men versus women or anything versus, To give an example, I'll say that you must have heard and seen a popular program called Man versus Wild, right? It's a wonderful program, it's far better than so many stupid programs that are going around in the country. But then the question that I want to ask is that, should it be man versus wild? What does wild mean? Nature. Should it be man versus nature? Is nature against us? If nature is not against us, then why should we be against nature? We are here because of the nature. So taking the same thing, analogy in every part of our life, why should it be man versus woman? Why should it be this faith versus that faith? Why should it be rich versus poor? Why should it be this caste versus that caste? So I don't believe in this versus thing in any way. Yeah, perceptions, yes. Stereotypes, they are there, not just about men. Stereotypes तो बहुत सारे हैं. And as far as emotions are concerned, like I'm asked about that, men should cry, is a stereotype that I've broken, and I agree. But I don't mean to say that, it is an emotion that came. Crying is an emotion, and every emotion is right if the situation and the timing is right. I don't mean to say that men should always cry, no. It is all about being the situation and the timing is right. Similarly, there are so many other emotions. Like emotions are popularly being told, हम सब बात करते हैं, you should always smile, right? Which is very fine. But should you be smiling if there's death in your neighborhood? You should not be. People say you should never get angry. But then should you not get angry if one of your wives, daughters or sisters, somebody is irritating her or molesting her? Shouldn't get angry. If you're not getting angry, there's something wrong. So these are all emotions which we try and put it into a stereotype कि इस situation में सही है, इस situation में नहीं है, why should do this, that. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Every emotion in the right place is right. Every emotion in the wrong place is wrong. Right? So men should cry. And similarly, men it is not just women, you're talking about specifically men, yes. I don't think हमारे देश है ज़्यादा तो दूसरे देशों में है. हमारे देश में तो वैसे भी नारी का बहुत सम्मान है, परंपराएं थी, बीच में थोड़ा बहुत हम भटके थे. But I think we are back on track to respecting women, the way giving them their place where they belong to. तो हमारे देश में तो पूजनीय हैं, पूजनीय थी और पूजनीय रहेंगी. एंड उनका सम्मान होना चाहिए, मान होना चाहिए, आदर होना चाहिए, सत्कार होना चाहिए. और सबका अपना अपना स्थान है. इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट कंपैरिजन इज व्हाट आई डोंट लाइक. सब कॉम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं. नेचर में जो कुछ भी बना है ना, एवरीथिंग इज perfect, complementing to each other. We're not against each other, If you go to a virgin forest, you see, for example, you look at a tree, there's a leaf, there's a flower, there's a fruit. Are they debating? Who's important? They're not. Every atom and molecule in this cosmos knows that they are there existing because of each other and not against each other, not competing each other. So that is how it should be. So this perception should be established. अगर men में नहीं है अगर ऐसा कुछ कि हम अलग हैं ये वो, तो we should all understand as men that we are there because of women, and same goes for everybody. That is what it is. Yeah.
True. That is really thought-provoking. But sir, for the youth who wants to be a part of the army forces, it is said that the army is based on the principle of discipline. So are there some kind of advices you'd like to give them?
If you want to join the army, you're most welcome. Please do that, but please take it, don't go under any illusion, I encourage everyone to do that, but at the same time I'm a very realistic man. I don't want, please don't walk into the army or for that matter any of the defense forces with any kind of illusion, because we sitting here in Mumbai or any other places, what we see in the army is at times what they show us in the movies, and we see the beautiful cantonments in the good cities of this country and towns. But when you end up in the army, it's going to be totally different. There is just a glimpse of it. थोड़ा बहुत दिखता है हमें, but वहाँ पर अलग होगा. So if you have it in you, it'll take a lot of guts, it'll take a lot of courage, and if you have it in you, then you must join army. If you don't have it to you, then please accept it. You are not good enough. Dare not look towards that side, because यहाँ बात देश की होती है. And when you are in the armed forces, there's no question of making a mistake or a blunder. On a personal level, if you make a mistake, you pay the price with blood. I did. I'm fortunate to be alive. And on a national level, yes, when a military से अगर देश की सेना से कभी कोई भूल हो जाए तो उसकी कीमत इतनी चुकानी पड़ती है कि वो शायद वो that mistake probably can never be undone in the history of the country. बाकी जब सारे शाखाओं में थोड़ी बहुत भूल हो जाए, we can make it, we can cover it up, you know. We probably, मान लो for a period of a few years, some government didn't work and there was no development and all, so we can cover it up. We can make the roads today, we can get the electricity today. जो नहीं था पूरा कर सकते हैं. But सेना में there's no question. You make a mistake and the nation will always pay for it. So it's a huge responsibility, and just go for the sake of the duty that you have to do, the opportunity that you get to serve this country. इससे बड़ा और देश और कोई opportunity है नहीं. But if you don't have it in you, accept that with grace कि नहीं है. You need men and women of nerves of steel there. Because जब आप वहाँ जाएंगे तो एकेडमी में जब आपकी ट्रेनिंग होगी तो वहाँ लोहा पिघलाया जाता है, पिघला के उसे फौलाद बनाया जाता है. असली होगा तो बनेगा, नहीं तो पिघल के फैल जाएगा, टूट जाएगा. So that is what it is.
Sir, you provide speeches at many levels and you meet and talk to a lot of students today. So do you feel there's any difference in the youth of today and yesterday?
Yeah, there are a lot of differences, good and bad both. Today youth are more aware, they know a lot of things. But उसका flip side है कि probably there's too much of information, so there's also a bit of confusion amongst the youth. In our times ऐसा कुछ ज़्यादा confusion था नहीं, ज़्यादा options भी नहीं थे, ज़्यादा choices भी नहीं थे. As I told you, I myself wasn't aware of what's about the state of the nation and then. But हाँ, एक चीज़ है कि I'll not say कि पहले सारे सही थे और आज सारे सही नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं भी है. But I give one thing, you know, थोड़ा सा self-centered होने का, and I'll not blame the youth. The entire paraphernalia of perception battle that I spoke in the beginning, you know, the perception जो बनाया जा रहा है, which our youth are being bombarded with, is actually confusing them, and उससे थोड़ा सा भ्रमित हो जाते हैं कभी-कभी. You start thinking of yourself first, your dreams, your personal ambitions and all, which is not correct. To give an example, हमारे ज़माने में ऐसा नहीं, वहाँ सारे तबके नहीं थे, but हाँ, most of us, you know, when we were looking for the first job or first salary or first money that we gave for either when we did a business, so everybody, you know, the kind of dream that everybody had is that मेरे पास पहले जब तनख्वाह मिलेगी तो मैं अपनी पिताजी का मोतियाबिंद का ऑपरेशन कराऊंगा, माँ का घुटनों का इलाज कराऊंगा, घर मेरी छत लीक होती है उसको रिपेयर कराऊंगा, बहन की शादी करूंगा. आज जब सुनता हूँ एक यूथ से ये तो बोला, या आई एम ड्रीमिंग दैट मोमेंट आई स्टार्ट मेकिंग मनी, आई विल बाय दिस, आई विल बाय ए कार, आई विल बाय दिस लैपटॉप, आई विल बाय दिस मोबाइल, आई विल गो फॉर अ हॉलिडे, एंड आई फील यार नहीं, दिस इज नॉट राइट. And not just in the first salary or something, if you only thinking of yourself, living for yourself, for all your dreams and ambitions are within the confines of this body. मतलब साधारण लोगों की बात कर रहा हूँ, संत वो जब बनने लग जाते हैं तो वो तो अलग बात है, तब तो फिर आत्मा का परमात्मा से मिलन होता है, that's a different issue. But as long as we are ordinary mortals here, if you're only thinking all your dreams and ambitions are within the confines of the body, it is a very, 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 very miserable way of thinking, and the results are going to be very, very miserable and disappointing. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of today, I urge you, identify yourself, whatever you want to do. It could be the nation. अगर आप बहुत बड़ा दिल है, बड़ा सोच सकते हो, राष्ट्र के लिए जिए. There cannot be any better cause. नहीं है तो समाज के लिए जिए, नहीं है तो कोई cause पकड़ लीजिए. And there are a lot of wonderful people, even youth. I see that somebody has dedicated his or her life for planting trees. Somebody is going, you know, there was an old lady who was, you know, राष्ट्रपति भवन में who was सम्मानित किया गया था उनको for she from south she planted so many trees. एक बैरन जमन को तो या कोई वृद्धाश्रम खोल लेता है, कोई अनाथाश्रम खोल लेता है. पिक अप एनीथिंग. अगर बहुत बड़ा दिल नहीं है तो ज़िंदगी में एक व्यक्ति पकड़िए आप कि दिस इज़ द मैन, दिस इज़ द वुमन, इसी के लिए जीना है. बट अपने लिए प्लीज, एंड दैट्स वेरी वेरी मिजरेबल. यू विल बी डिसअपॉइंटेड, अनहैप्पी, डिप्रेस्ड. So that is the message that I want to give to the youth. आइडेंटिफाई ए कॉज, अ पर्सन, एनीथिंग, एंड डेडिकेट कर दीजिए, पूरी ज़िंदगी उसमें झोंक दीजिए.
Agreed, sir. That is something I think I agree we need to work on.
So, हमारा कॉलेज का मोटो है enlighten the darkness. तो आप आर्मी सर्विस कॉर्प में थे और आपने कहीं से तो मोटोज भी होंगे सर रेजिमेंट्स में. एक सच मोटो है जो आप सर्विस के दौरान सुने, जो आपके दिमाग में ऐसे अड़ गया कि बहुत इंस्पिरेशनल है.
और मेरी पहली पोस्टिंग जो थी आर्मी में, वो थी राजपूताना राइफल्स में, और उनका मोटो है वीर भोग्या वसुंधरा. ऐसा तो नहीं कहूँगा कि सुनते ही कुछ स्टक कर गया, बट हाँ, जैसे जैसे सेना में आई केप्ट ऑन मूविंग एंड आई केप्ट ऑन सीइंग पीपल गिविंग देयर लाइफ फॉर द कंट्री. Then I started realizing, and especially one of my friends, when he got martyred, a very close friend of mine, Major Padmapani Acharya, and he too was from Rajputana Rifles. So then I realized कि वो बंदा वसुंधरा पहुंच चुका है, वीर था, वसुंधरा पहुंच गया. So that was one. And the second is my parent regiment, which is Army Service Corps, जिसका मोटो था सेवा अस्माकं धर्म, सर्विस इज आवर क्रीड. तो सेवा करना है पूरे जीवन. वीर भोग्या वसुंधरा का तो एक मौका मिला था, एक अवसर मिला था, निकल गया हाथ से. लेकिन हाँ, दूसरा है ये सेवा अस्माकं धर्म है, ये तो हाथ में रहेगा ही रहेगा. तो सेवा करते रहेंगे, जिसका भी हो सके, लोगों की, अपने देश की. ये दोनों
प्रॉब्लम्स आ सके फिर भी
हाँ, सेवा तो करते रहेंगे. सेवा अस्माकं धर्म है.
Thank you so much, sir, for your advices as well as the inspirational stories you have told us. I think this is not going to help only the youth who watch this, but also the adults of our country to know how much of a big heart it takes to stand up for the country and stand up for the people of our country. Thank you so much, sir, for this interview.
My pleasure.